to tell you a book called Anne's House of Dreams. So let's begin. Ants have a lot of amazing childhood, and this time she's very grown up and becoming a lady now, and she's going to marry a teenage named Gilbert Blythe. So Anne was very excited because it would be the time when she and Gilbert would be together for all the rest of their lives. And ants have a lot of work to do. She must sew beautiful white thread. She must choose a house. Gilbert Blythe had choose a very amazing house, and that will be Annie's first house and her house of dreams. That's why this book is about Anne's house of dreams. Okay, now everything was very happy, and of course Mrs. Marilla and Mrs. Linda was very happy to see that Anne was happy, but they're also very sad to leave Anne behind. And was also very excited. And now there was a wedding to become. And the wedding was very beautiful, and they're going to the house. The house was a very big house fulfilled with amazing fields and yards, with roses and pines and everything. Near the house was a beautiful river where you can have a lot of fun. And this house was the oldest house was the oldest house and was built by a couple about 60 years ago, and was really excited to live in the house. Inside was a very beautiful house with living room was so big, and this house was very small and neat for the two elder couple. The couple didn't have a honeymoon day, because it's like they really wanted to have their honeymoon day in that little dreaming house. So they are going to go inside there and have a good honey time. Gilbert Blythe have already done his education as a doctor, and he had becoming a real doctor. He have helped everybody he have been in. And Anne was now becoming a very cute and beautiful lady, which everybody really excited. And she also knew that and she also make a lot of amazing and good friends, like Jim. Jim was like a captain of the cruise, members of the cruise of the boat. She also had Mrs. Cornelia, and her best friends in this dream house is Leslie Morley. So, and they have helped her, and they have helped the little house in a small island become more and more greater and happier. Well, Anne was really excited and very happy too, because she knew that the house was in a lot of trees, and she's the loving of the trees and forest and roses and everything. And also, if you find another way, you can see that the house was very far from the island. The island in Glen was full of people and the houses and fun, while Anne and Gilbert lived in a house far apart and inside the beautiful hills, where they could see everything from sailing boats to the houses. So now they have a lot of amazing dinner, and Captain Jim told them a lot of amazing story. One of them was about their dreaming homes. There was a couple have lived inside there when they have already built the houses. It was even more beautiful and more talented than the house right now. There was a fireplace bigger than the fireplace that was right now stand inside Anne's home. And if you think about it, Captain Jim have tell Anne that there was a teacher and his wife have lived there for a few years. When they have first born out a baby, they started to move to another places. It was a baby girl, and he had been holding the baby really happy, and heard this and really and like very happy to see what have happening to the houses, and everything was getting very greater now. Also, if you think about it, Anne and Gilbert have been together since they was little. And when they were grown up, they have lived into the house together and make a lot of friends. And one of them was also Cornelia. Mrs. Cornelia first saw them and come straight inside. And there, she was really not look like Linda at all, because like Captain Jim said, Cornelia was always talkative like Linda, but then she was kind and generous, and also she's very good too. So Anne started to like Cornelia for the first time when she talked about the 18th baby that she was suing Claire for the 18th babies from our houses. Anne was really happy to find that she had a friend who could talk with. Also, Mrs. Cornelia have said to Anne that a few months later, Mrs. Cornelia said to Anne that there was a house next to her. It was a very old and rusty house and was very poor indeed. And inside the house lived a girl named Leslie Morey with her husband Dick Morey. So now this is what happens. Why Mrs. Cornelia tell Anne have meet Leslie Morey on a time when she was going to the sea and beach and having fun dancing with the beautiful waves, when she found a beautiful girl which about her age was sitting in there and was looking at her. She was really shy indeed, but when she came closer, she found out that girl was named Leslie Morey and was next door to Anne. Anne was really excited and started to talk, but then Leslie Morey seemed to be like hate her a lot. She don't want to speak anything, she don't want to do anything, she just look at her with an unhappy eyes and walk away in silence. So that's why Anne started to learn about Leslie Morey by asking Cornelia, because Leslie have Cornelia as a friend, and Cornelia have tell her everything. When she was little, Leslie was actually a very beautiful and great girl. She loved to play. She's a playful girl, and everybody loved her, especially when she talked. But then, the first thing that happened to her when she was 12 was that her brother was being rolled by a carriage and crashed with full of blood and everything else, and he died instantly, which makes Leslie very sorrowful and very sad. And she began to not as talkative as ever, but she's still very playful as a child, until her father suddenly had something that made him very angry, and he have been tying his neck and like hanging on a roof. And the first people who saw him was actually Leslie, not her mother. Leslie was a very beautiful child from her mother as a beauty, and a very playful girl as her father. But when her father had died because of that, Leslie became more sorrowful, and she became an untalkative and unplayful child. Until Dick Morey came to her and asked her as marriage. She hated her. She hated Dick Morey a lot because he was a very poor man who gone fishing, and he never treated her like a real wife. But Leslie don't know what to do, so she had to marry Dick Morey, and the marriage began. And after that, they live in a happier life. And they live in the old shred home until Dick Morty come to the sea and go to Nova Scotia to visit his family, leaving Leslie alone. Dick was for a few years later. Dick didn't return until Captain Jim come and get the man exactly the same as Dick, and he thought it was Dick Morty, and bring him back to Leslie. And there Leslie saw him and was very sorrowful. He was like a usual man with like a usual man who's loved to go out to sea and who's loved drinking more gas, water, and beer more. But he acted like a child. Everybody had found him, even the doctor. The doctor said he don't have any way to get better again. And Leslie was really, really sad about what had happened. And also but Leslie really happy because now Dick Morty was as a child and we got to hear her and do everything she said. And he started to do everything, everything from what Leslie said. But sometimes Dick Morty was going to hide and going somewhere until for a few days he will come back, which makes Leslie even more tired, and the life of her was become very faded. After hearing this, Anne was very sorry indeed, and she wanted to make friends with Leslie. So that's why she started to make friends with her. And this time, Leslie was really happy. Coming to the House of Dreams, she having a lot of fun cuddling together. But sometimes Anne found that Leslie was really sad and sometimes hate her a lot, which makes Anne a little scared to do something like that. Until Dr. Bleeth came to make the life of Leslie became more and more beautiful. But first, let's go on what happened next. That Anne was now having a baby. The first baby she named was Joycey. The baby was actually a girl. She was so white and beautiful. But what's something wrong is that Dr. Bleeth, Dr. Gilbert, and with other people saw that the baby wasn't going to have a life to live, and everybody had to hide that secret from Anne until Anne found out something was wrong. Her husband wasn't as happy as she think, and everybody seemed to be very sorrow and sad. Until Gilbert bring her the bad news that the baby can't live anymore. She had cried and cried for a lot of days and didn't eat anything. Everybody knew what her mother really looked like when she found her daughter already to become dead. They have buried the baby, and Anne was very sorrowful until the next year. She had a new baby named Jen, and Jen was a very beautiful baby, and everybody loved him. His real name was James Matthew Bleeth, and yes, the name have been one of Annie's most famous names, and that the name have made her reminded that they were the two amazing men she had ever lived. James was actually Captain Jim, and Matthew was her godfather, her stepfather, which have made her becoming a girl, which now she is. And also, Matt Bleeth is actually, yes, it was like Gilbert's names. Okay, now that everything was already in place now, there was something that Gilbert didn't want to say. So now he has said, Dick have some diseases and asked Gilbert to help. After helping Dick, he had secretly found it in the head of Dick was where there was a crack in the head, and if that crack began to go to cut out and repairing it in another new hospital, he might have a chance to remember and survive everything. So Gilbert told this to Leslie, and Leslie was very embarrassed and very sad, and she never wanted to talk to the family of Bleak anymore. But he had to make a choice and had to do it. And so Gilbert helped her do everything for a few days after the cuttings. Anne had brought a good news, and this is her good news, that Dick Morley wasn't actually Dick Morley, but actually George Morley, his cousin. Dick Morley had died 13 years ago, and that's also what happened when Owen Ford came. Mr. Ford was actually a writer and began to love Leslie when she let him borrow the houses to live and stay. He loved Leslie a lot that now they are becoming a couple again, and everything was really happy. The House of Dream have made everything become more brillianter and more happier, until again Gilbert have dropped another bad news that Anne and Gilbert with little Jem and Susan, their servants, will have to leave the homes and come to another new home again, where they may have a better chance to have more patience for Gilbert to work. Anne was really sad, but she must do that because the house was now really tight for a whole family, and they have come and lived forever, and they locked the house and gone. And for the next new book will be Anne of the Ingleside. Next time you're going to hear what the new book will be. That is when Anne will going to have a lot of children, more than in her House of Dreams, and the family will even have even more amazing adventure in this house. Thank you so much for watching my video. This is the end of my video. Thank you for watching, and now it's time to say goodbye.